Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Well, on today's episode, I entitled it, Man, where's it the consideration? No consideration for the health care profession. No consideration for the healthcare workers. And this, what am I hearing? What am I really hearing? That they're going to take away the professional aspect for nursing, physical therapists, occupational therapy, maybe social work, maybe physician assistants. What am I really hearing? They're gonna take away they're gonna defund it come 2026, and what's gonna happen is that the loans that they're not gonna be, the nursing programs are not gonna be funded anymore, and it's gonna be difficult for people that are thinking about getting into nursing to get funding to take their classes for nursing. So and there's already a shortage of nursing. Not to say that there's nursing field is flooded. Nursing, they need more nurses. They always need more nurses, always. And you mean to tell me that's not considered a profession? And physical therapy is not considered a profession. Occupational therapy is not considered a profession, and they're taking the professional aspect of those fields away, and it's gonna make it very difficult for them to get loans, so they're gonna have to go to private loans, and that's what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. There could be nurses taking care of you, and because they're not getting paid well, or what's gonna happen is that not many people are gonna go into the profession because it's too difficult to get private loans. It's too difficult. Not everybody's born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And it's too difficult to come up with all that money just to go to school while they can make money in the other ways of making money. And what I like the nursing profession and other physical therapy profession is that, especially particularly with nursing, I like it some of the fact that the ladies are able to be very independent. Very independent. They have a caring spirit. Nurses are much needed to have a caring spirit because mostly women dominate the field, and they have a caring spirit, and they're able to feed their family without a man giving them problems. They can feed their family. They can feed their kids. They can have their own home. They can go and come as they please. That's the freedom of independence, and nursing can give you that. But I'm gonna dive in deeper. Oh yes, I'm gonna dive in deeper on what this Trump administration is doing when it comes to these professions, these healthcare professions.
Administration has decided that nursing degrees will no longer qualify as professional degrees. What does that mean? Regulatory decisions surrounding the Big Beautiful Bill will no longer classify nursing degrees, among other fields of study, as professional degrees, which will limit some students from accessing funding for their education. Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, aptly named for its hundreds of pages, passed in July 2025. The bill set broad policies in areas such as healthcare and taxes, while leaving several regulatory details to individual departments to determine. One of those departments, the Department of Education, was tasked with defining new federal student loan rules. In early November 2025, the department convened the Reimagining Improving Student Education (RISE) committee to conclude a negotiated rulemaking session aimed at placing common sense limits and guardians on future student loan borrowing. The committee decided on 17 regulatory provisions, one of which was a new definition of professional degree. These decisions will affect how much students are allowed to borrow by placing caps on federal student loans. The bill eliminates the Grad Plus loan program, loans for graduate or professional students, which traditionally help students in professional fields, including many medical disciplines, finance their studies. Under the new rules, students pursuing degrees on the official list of professional degrees may borrow up to $50,000 per year and up to $200,000 total. Students whose degrees are not on the list may borrow only $20,500 per year and $100,000 overall. In the related Title 34 regulations defining professional degrees, nursing is not explicitly named among the listed examples such as pharmacy, dentistry, veterinary medicine, chiropractic, chiropractic, medicine, theology, or law. Though the regulations do state that examples of a professional degree include, but are not limited to, these fields. The phrase not limited to has historically allowed nursing to be considered a professional degree. Under the new definitions established through the Big Beautiful Bill, nursing was explicitly left off. Following the media attention to the regulatory decisions, Department of Education Press Secretary for Higher Education Ellen Keast told Newsweek the department has had a consistent definition of what constitutes a professional degree for decades, and the consensus-based language aligns with this historic precedent. The committee, which includes institutions of higher education, agreed on the definition that we will put forward in a proposed rule. We are not surprised that some institutions are crying wolf over regulations that never existed because their unlimited tuition ride on the taxpayer dime is over. American Nurses Association President Jennifer Mensa Kennedy responded in a letter saying that excluding nursing will severely restrict access to critical funding for graduate nursing education, undermining efforts to grow and sustain the nursing workforce. These changes are expected to take effect on July 1st, 2026, though rulemaking is still in process.
You cannot defund nursing, man. Everybody gets sick. Every day nurses are needed. That's why it's a 24-hour profession. And you can't defund them. In order for them to do their job, they need the funding. Nurses, the healthcare need funding. Period. You can't just defund them and say they're unprofessional. People bust their hum to go to school for this, and to care for people. No. I disagree with this Trump administration 100% on this matter. See, it's one thing to defund other programs. I don't think you should defund any programs. Every aspect of life is needed, and nurses is definitely needed. Nurses is definitely needed. Social workers are definitely needed. Physical therapists are definitely needed. Occupational therapists to help kids out is definitely needed. It's a need. It's not even a want. It's a need in the community, in our communities across the world. Not even just in America, across the world. You cannot defund a profession like healthcare professions. No, it's just unethical. It just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Nursing's not a professional degree anymore? Fine. It's okay. No worries. I do have one question, though, for you, Donald Trump. What are you going to do when you get sick? Because inevitably this will happen. It happens to every single person in the world. Doesn't matter who you are. Everybody ages and everybody begins to have problems, and that is just how that goes. So what are you going to do? Come to a hospital and be taken care of by unprofessional people? People who have no reason to be there, correct? Or go home and ask for a 24-hour care nurse who's also unprofessional. Please tell me what it is that you're going to do, because I guarantee you, your doctors who may prescribe your meds and may diagnose you are also not going to take care of you the way that a nurse does. But it's okay. I'm not professional, so don't ask me to do it.
And Marjorie's right. Yeah, she's right. Marjorie's right. If you're gonna, people are gonna stop caring, and less people are gonna get into nursing. It's gonna be less students thinking about nursing, and more thinking about monetizing their social media. They're gonna thinking about doing other things, other ways of making a living. Because when you put that in place, and you make it difficult for students to achieve, or difficult for people to achieve nursing, which is much needed, or physical therapy, or the other health professions, which is much needed, and you're gonna say that they're unprofessional, then what's gonna happen? They're not gonna get, and they're not gonna get the pay. The pay's not gonna be there like it is now, and more people gonna stop caring, and they're gonna be like, you know what? Why am I making an effort? And there's no incentive for me to go pursue nursing, because there's no incentive for me to pursue nursing. You pay thousands of dollars to watch a ball game. You and these ball players, and they not to hate on them, but they get thousands and millions of dollars. But the health profession is going to be getting low balled, and is much needed in everybody's aspect of life. Everybody gets sick some way or somehow. You're gonna get sick, President Trump, and you're gonna need those helping, caring hands. So to take away that professional status is unethical. It just doesn't sit well with a lot of people. It don't sit well with nurses. Don't sit well with a lot of people. It just doesn't add up. All because of money and situations. There's other things that's not so important to people that can be defunded, but not the health field. Healthcare is much needed all around. Mental health field is needed. Is needed. Mental health workers are needed. Are needed. Desperately needed. Nursing is needed. Physical therapy is needed. Occupational therapy is needed. Physician assistance is needed. Physical therapy is always needed. People are always getting injured, especially athletes. They get injured, they're gonna need the physical therapy. And then you're gonna unprofessional their profession, they need that. Physical therapy is needed. Very few physical therapists go into their own what you call it, their own practice. And they're needed in all facilities. They're needed. And right now, I work at a school. I work at a school, college. And the nursing program is huge. There's a lot of those students are taking up nursing, and not to say that the program is extremely challenging and it costs a lot, especially in other schools. I'm not gonna mention the name of other school because there's a one school that I know personally that they charge their students for just a 2 year degree. They charge their students for 56,000, 56,000 for 2 years. It's not cheap. It's not cheap going to school. It's not cheap. Now, and that's a private entity. That college, I'm not going to mention the name. Yeah, you know what? I can mention the name, St. Paul's. St. Paul's. But the CUNY College that I work in, the CUNY College, they're cheaper. They're cheaper, but it still costs money if you're not getting aid. And if you take away the funding for it, there's not much people that's going to get into it. Students are going, they don't know they don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but this doesn't sit well. And if some students get a wind of this, they might just say, I'm working too hard and I'm not considered a professional. I might as well just back out.
School when you still have time. Yesterday, the Trump administration officially announced that nursing is not considered a professional degree. So, what does this mean? It means that graduate nursing students may no longer be eligible for the same type of federal student loan funding or loan forgiveness that other programs are eligible for. Let me break it down. Long story short, it means that if you're trying to go to graduate school for nursing, the cost could rise for you, and you very well may not get federal funding, and you may have to rely on private lenders. So this would not only make pursuing that graduate nursing degree more expensive, but also a little bit more difficult. And if it's expensive and difficult, it is most likely going to deter students from wanting to become a nurse. And this is a greater societal issue because we already have a shortage of nurses across the country. So, what is now included as a professional degree? Let me read you the list: medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, optometry, law, veterinary medicine, um, osteopathic medicine, podiatry, chiropractic, theology, and clinical psychology. This is a sad day in our education. Nurses are needed, just like doctors are needed. But this is also another reason why I told you guys a year ago to make sure you go back to school while you still had the chance and you could still qualify for certain loans. But in my next post for nurses, y'all stay tuned because I'll just give y'all some scholarships that y'all can apply to because it looks like Federal student loans may no longer be an option for you, but that's okay because you shouldn't be going to school off student loans anyway, when you should be getting that degree for free. Until next time, bye.
Ain't that the truth? The scholarship expert is right. It's not no need to. If it's gonna be difficult to achieve, it's gonna be less and less people thinking about nursing. It's gonna there's no incentive to go. There's no encouragement to go. They're not gonna think about nursing. They're gonna think about other professions. They're gonna think about other things to do, and it's that's what's gonna come to. So occupational therapy right now is needed in the schools. Kids need occupational therapy, and you mean to tell me they're not professions? They some and to be a physical therapist and a physical therapist, occupational therapist, you need your masters. You need your master's degree. It's not easy. Not everybody can achieve a master's degree, and they're not considered professions with all that studying.
Practitioner, but I don't think so at this point because they said nursing is no longer considered a professional degree. I'd like to see these people go to school for 2 years and get associates. I'd like them to go to school for 4 years and get a bachelor's. How about they go to school for 6 years and get a master's? And see how professional that is. Just graduated school. I'm a new grad resident. Had a dream that I was going to be a nurse practitioner. I plan on going next year. But guess what? In 2026, they said that they're cutting the funding. Y'all not getting no more loans, baby. Well, y'all are, but guess what? Y'all only get $20,000 a year. The school I plan on attending is $60,000 to get a master's degree in nursing and science, to become a psychiatric nurse practitioner. $60,000. They're only going to give us $20,000 a year. You do the math. The program's 2 years. $60,000. They're giving me $20,000 a year. That's $40K. Guess what? I got 20 grand I still got to come up with. That means I'm not going to school. Who's coming out of pocket $20,000 just to go to school? When I'm used to getting grants and loans and things of that nature. But now they said no. Figure it out. They don't want us to continue our education. They want us to stay exactly where we at. They want the women to be barefoot and pregnant because nursing is primarily dominated by women. They said, nah, y'all go ahead, get back in the kitchen, make me some food, and take care of my children. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to advance. They don't want you to make more money. They want to see where you at. Crabs in a bucket. But you know what? I ain't gonna worry about that. I'm gonna take my talents elsewhere. Y'all better work on y'all businesses. Y'all better get y'all LLC. Y'all better do what y'all need to do. Y'all need to get y'all social media following up. Y'all better collect the bag another way. Because I don't know if you're going to get this other degree. I would like to, but I don't know. They're playing with my time. But it's all right. I'll call you back. Bye.
Now the live word of the day is coming out of 1 John chapter 3 verses 11. For this is the message that you have heard from the beginning, that you should love one another. And right now, the health profession is not getting no consideration. And I want to say at all times, thank you to the healthcare professions. Thank you for your services. Thank you for your love. Thank you for showing us love. Thank you. Big up to the health care professions, because they're not being appreciated. By doing this, there's no appreciation for the healthcare professions. Now, love for the message that you have heard from the beginning, that you should love one another. And the health profession is being right now, because of the Trump administration, no love. But this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. Peace and blessings.